Hello, my name's Dick Sturgeon. I'm a workers advocate for an organization called Workers Have Rights Too. That's a nonprofit organization that's been around for about 38 years, assisting workers with all kinds of problems. Presently, we're not able to directly represent somebody or assist somebody with their problems. We're concentrating now on education, and this program is one of the tools that we're using. We want to thank Morningside College for providing us with these facilities, and also Siouxland Community Media, a nonprofit organization, for producing the program for us. This evening we have a treat. We have my brother here, Lee Sturgeon, who has spent many years working as a workers advocate. In fact, he ran workers' rights for several years while I took a small break from the organization. And Lee, we welcome you here.
Thanks, brother.
One of the things that, the thing that Lee does for a living is that he handles disability Social Security cases. And I tell you that it amazes me how many times I get into a meeting, or I hear it at church or somewhere where somebody is terribly disabled, and I ask them if they're drawing disability Social Security, and they say, "Oh no, I'm not young enough." And one of the things I would like Lee to do is a brief overview of disability Social Security and explain what a person has to establish.
All right. So this is a 4-hour program? No, just kidding. There are actually two major Social Security disability programs that I'll talk about. There are also other ones. There's a child program and widow's benefits program. But I'm generally talking about the two main ones, which I call disability insurance benefits, and the other one is supplemental security income, or DIB and SSI. The two requirements to be entitled to the benefits under DIB, disability insurance benefits, are one, that you're disabled, and two, that you are covered or insured under the program. And the two requirements for SSI, or supplemental security income, are that one, you're disabled, and the other is that you're low income and you don't have resources that exceed the limits. In both cases, you have to be disabled. And so generally, to explain the concept of disability for the purpose of both those programs, you have to have one or more physical or mental impairments which can't be either drug addiction or alcoholism, and they have to limit your functional abilities to the extent where you can't perform jobs that you know how to do. And eventually, you have to also demonstrate that your limitations from your impairments prevent you from doing any other job that's even easier than your own jobs, and they have to be jobs that exist in significant numbers. Now that's actually kind of probably a boring explanation. The real truth of the matter is you just have to be not able to work, and those are just fancier ways of saying it. The difficulty these days, especially because of federal government budget cuts, is that most people can't survive long enough to get what they're entitled to.
Yes, I have a case right now that I'm quickly approaching 2 years for a hearing, for an administrative hearing, since we've appealed it.
So not from when they applied, but when you appealed at the third step.
Asked for a hearing, that's right.
So that's probably almost 3 years then altogether,
3 years,
from the time that worker applied. And that's consistent. In fact, we just got a publication in the mail today that gives the number of days that judges' offices in every state in the union are taking to process claims, and they're all running approximately 2 years.
You know, some of the things that I've heard throughout the years of handling disability Social Security cases, and we'll touch on those and then move on a little bit, is that my doctor says that he'll sign any piece of paper saying that I can't work. And I think you'll agree with me that that's not what Social Security is looking for. Social Security is looking for clinical things or things from the doctor that shows how bad that person is. Even though the doctor believes you can't work, he's got to give them the medical records.
Well, I agree with what you're saying, and I would say it maybe just a little differently, that they do need the clinical signs and symptoms, the x-rays, the MRIs, the EKGs, the EEGs, all kinds of objective medical evidence, but eventually opinion evidence does persuade a judge. And so a doctor's opinion, especially your treating doctor, is the best evidence you can have, even better than what you may say yourself to the judge under oath. The problem is that many doctors who mean well will simply want to write a letter saying this patient is so severely ill that he can't work. And that the regulations say is meaningless, because they are not experts in the area, vocational areas of can you work. So they do limit doctors' opinions to can they lift, push, pull, can they sit, stand, walk, talk, think, yes. Things like that.
Things like that. The other thing I ran into so many times is that, especially somebody, and I don't blame them, but somebody that's waited 2 years for a hearing will say to me, well, my cousin got Social Security on the first step for simply a bad foot. And, and as handling them for years, I know that just simply doesn't happen.
Right, and normally when you hear something like that, and I hear those too, there's just something more to that cousin's story than anybody else knows, and that's fine because it is confidential.
It's his business, or the cousin's business, that's right. We have some other matters we want to discuss tonight. We're filming this program in August, and summer's starting to wind down, and maybe we should have done this program a little bit earlier, but why don't we get on the first subject?
Okay, well, I used to years ago have a part-time job working outside, and I never knew. What are some of the safety concerns for people whose jobs are working outside?
There are many, and they're really important things to remember too. One of the things is that employers, when they have people out on a construction site or on a road construction site, they got to furnish them with a safe and healthy workplace. And many of the things we talk about today will be about what is a safe workplace and what is a healthy workplace. But two basic things: they got to provide you with restroom facilities, and that's what we see the porta pots out on the construction sites for. Those are required by the OSHA regulations. And the other thing is they have to provide you with drinkable water, and it's got to be water that is good. Some people think that it has to be cool or it has to be refrigerated, and that's not so. But they do have to furnish you with water. One thing I'd like to bring up here, by the way, on restrooms, and we had a call from a telemarketer company here, some employees from a telemarketing company that is trying to pull a stunt on restrooms, and the place is primarily female, and they're limiting their time to use the restroom, and if they have to use it over the limit that they've set, then they have to get some kind of a doctor's permit or excuse saying that they have the right to do it. I just want to point out to people that there's also requirements on that that provide that that's unlawful. And workers have to have free access to restrooms. They don't have to provide medical documentation. And there's a lot of research been done, a lot of proof that's come along that a person who is not able to use the restroom when it's needed creates more damage to their body, and that can't be allowed. But as far as working outside, water is a necessity, especially as hot as it has been around the Siouxland area, and of course restrooms. Now, not all places have to give you porta pots. If they make an arrangement that 6 blocks away there's a filling station that is willing to make an arrangement that the workers can use that, and they have ready transportation to get there, that can take the place of porta pots. The other thing is weather. A lot of people see folks working outside and see the really good tans they have, and what good shape they look in, but they don't see the cases where young men or even women out there working in those construction sites now are ending up with terrible disabling sunburn. You should definitely be aware of that. And the employer is responsible to watch over that too and make sure that that you're properly covered. The other thing is that you have to look out for things such as lightning, as storms, high water areas. We had a case not too long ago where a bridge crew was working along, and over the weekend they had a big rain, and it was one of the creeks that feed into the Little Sioux. And when they went back to work on it, there was water gushing underneath that bridge where there was no water before. And the contractor was requiring them to get down into that water and to work over that water, which was a very dangerous thing. You don't have to perform any deed that you feel is going to be unsafe. I'm going to move right along because we're running out of time very quickly here. But the environment is also something that you want to look out for. You want to look out for weeds such as poison ivy or nettles. We've had more people in the last several years that have come in with severe reaction to poison ivy and nettles, and also to bees and bugs. A lot of people, you know, bee sting can be almost a death warrant. Those things are things that people have to look out for. Chemicals, these people that are out spraying yards and stuff, I worry sick about them because I see them out there without any respirators on, and a lot of them are out there without a shirt on or not much of a shirt on, spraying things that are killing weeds and pretty toxic stuff. Road construction, we want to watch out if you're going into road construction. Just remember that that's somebody's mother or somebody's dad or somebody's brother or sister working in that area, and take it easy. Make sure you have the proper warning devices. Make sure you're wearing the orange vest or whatever is needed, because if you don't, then you're taking a chance of a very serious injury. Remember that if any of these things happen to you, that you look into whether it's covered by workers' compensation or not. Lightning struck a work site one time, and a whole bunch of people got terribly hurt, and it's covered. We want to take this opportunity to thank Morningside College for providing us with the studio here, and School and Community Media for helping produce this program. Thank you.